along with some flowery conclusion to our question about which bike is better. The problem is that when we saw the lap times, all we had were more questions. Questions that we're still trying to answer. Okay, well, here's what happened. Not the result I was expecting. I think it's safe to say, not the result that Ari was expecting. Probably not the result you were expecting either, although maybe you are now. The GSX-R from 2005 went faster around the racetrack than the Ducati Panigale by more than 1 second. Yeah, our minds are blown a little bit. And at the time, we were thinking probably the same thing you're thinking right now. No. No way, they screwed something up. What went wrong?
I would have loved to have just stood on the podium and gloated over Zach in his brand new Ducati. I was hoping I'd be within a second and a half, but I didn't expect to go almost a second and a half faster than the brand new bike. But the truth of the matter is, I was confused and curious about what the hell happened. We both were. So we've spent the last 2 weeks turning over every stone we can think of, trying to solve this lap time mystery.
So we took it very seriously, did a bunch of research, even went to friggin' Kinko's for crying out loud. There are a lot of factors, so buckle up, kids. Here we go.
The first thing we did after seeing the lap times was swap bikes to rule out riders as a variable. Lo and behold, Zach was faster on the Suzuki than he was on the Ducati, and I was slower on the Ducati than I had been on the Suzuki. We both agreed the Panigale was harder to ride and lacked the traction and stability of the GSX-R. What was the problem?
I figured the only explanation were those cheater slicks Ari had spooned on. So we put the GSX-R back on its street tires, the same top-of-the-line Pirelli Super Corsa SPs that come stock on the Ducati. Ari went out again, and what do you know? The Suzuki was still faster than the Ducati, even on identical tires.
And while I had previously replaced the GSX-R's 55,000 miles suspension and brakes, none of those new components came close to the price or premium quality of the V4S hardware.
All that left us with was an actual problem with the Panigale. Convinced that something was wrong, we took the bike to a Ducati dealership to have them do a systems check for issues. There were none.
They suggested trying some different electronic settings, but we had experimented with this at the track, and nothing was off base enough to explain how the bike was beaten by a competitor made in 2005.
But Ducati also shared that the 2020 Panigale V4 had quietly been updated with softer spring rates to make the bike more comfortable on longer rides. According to our research and the suspension experts we spoke to, the new shock spring is way too soft for riders of our weight riding at our speed on a bike making that much power.
It feels a little silly to say that something as simple as a $110 shock spring could undermine the performance of a $28,000 superbike, but truthfully, it's the best explanation we've got. And it's a vivid reminder of just how important proper setup is at the track, especially with such huge horsepower figures.
It's also a friendly reminder that spec sheets don't tell the whole story, no matter what kind of bike you want. And maybe the Panigale underperformed a little bit. Then again, maybe the legend of the K5 Gixxer has some truth to it. Maybe, just maybe, Barry Henning was right all along. We need more superbike competition for that Gixxer.
I'm all for it, man. I've affectionately come to know this motorcycle as Dave, and we're going to keep him around. And yeah, I mean, this has been a real surprise of an episode of CTXP, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.